What's up everybody, this is Hungry Trash Panda. I wanted to discuss Absolver and why it's gonna die. Okay, maybe not die, but yeah, that sounds really morbid, but this game already feels like it died for me. Unfortunately, the game feels quite boring for me because, well, I can beat most people I come across, and I don't feel like I'm actually all that good. There is no real satisfaction for beating people up anymore. I mean, yeah, every once in a while you'll get that really good match and it makes you feel awesome, but it doesn't happen often enough. Having a random disconnect every few games doesn't feel good either, especially where it disconnects, screws up your game, and makes you close it and reopen it and restart the game, and I'm too lazy for that. I don't want to do that all the time just to play a game, but I'm sure that will all be fixed eventually. Hopefully. Maybe. So Absolver is actually a pretty great game, but it's missing some key things to keep you hanging around. One thing I think it's really missing is an end game point. What are we working towards? The only things that come close to ranking us in any way is the combat trial level and school ranks, but those don't really determine skill, and I don't think the game matches up based on either of those, especially the combat trial level, because I've been matched up with fresh noobs who have no armor and were clearly beginners fighting with the basic combat deck that you start out with. We need something to fight for. Maybe something like tournaments that people can fight up through the brackets for some special item where only the best survives, or a combat level system where you are matched with fighters of equal combat level, where each fight determines whether you move up or fall down in the combat level. Something to keep you going, to make you feel awesome. Because if you tell someone that you're level 150 combat trial level, it's like, okay, well, everyone gets there eventually. But now, if it was skill-based and there was, say, a cap of 100, you tell people that you're level 100 or even 99 or 98, and it's like, wow, you are a god at this game. And that would make you feel good and awesome, and every fight would be much more important, rather than the difference between getting 1 point or 3 points towards your combat trial level. But hopefully they are going to add some sort of ranked battle system. I seem to recall hearing something about that at some time, but don't quote me on that. Right now the game feels like the only option you have to fight people is a casual spar. So win or lose, it doesn't really matter. But you may get a nice new piece of armor or a new mask, which is nice, but it's not something to keep me hanging around. It's not. Something else that might help would be events. Who doesn't like events? It gives people a reason to get on and see what all the fuss is about, especially if the rewards are awesome. And I'm not even talking powerful items, but just fancy cosmetics. I know I would love something fancy that no one else has. The big problem with the PvE is that it was all over way too soon, in my opinion. There was definitely room to build. They could have done some more things with it. Maybe they can add some game modes later on that would provide a PvE challenge, like an endurance mode. Just keep fighting, see how long you can go. Or even a PvE tournament mode that gets more difficult as you progress, or something along those lines. Gives you some awesome rewards, adding more achievements, something that's more than just doing it once and then that's it. Like the first time you went around the map and you killed all the marked ones and that was it. Now you can revisit those bosses to fight them as your combat trial level goes up, but I mean it's not really anything special, it's just another fight with the boss. Because at that point in combat trials are going to be much more challenging than the CPU. So it feels more like a chore than anything, just to have to go back, fight them, and get whatever you get. For me anyways. If there was a clan or dojo or fighting school system, then you can have dojo trials or events linked to your dojo or your fighting school, whatever they could decide to do. And then people could start being recruited for all these dojos and who's the best, who's got the best one. You know, all the stuff that goes with having any sort of competitive group. This would be a place for good players to go. Because right now, good players only have the option of, well, keep fighting. It's like I can beat everyone I come across. What do I do now? Keep fighting. I've mastered my combat deck and it's perfect and I don't want to change anything on it because I keep beating everyone. What do I do now? Keep fighting. It's just not enough. Even simply having a win and loss number attached to a player, like when you first are introduced and it has a win-loss ratio, that would make me want to keep fighting people to make my win-loss ratio better, or even start over on a new character and say, oh, now that I'm awesome and I know everything, I'm gonna start with a clean slate, 0-0, and get all my wins up much higher because I started over after I knew everything. It would give you more to do in the game. It would give you more encouragement to have a better win-loss ratio, something. But there isn't even that. No win-loss thing. And combine that with the boredom of beating person after person, with the lack of things to shoot for, along with the matches disconnecting, even forcing you to restart your game constantly. At least that's what happens to me. It makes for a really boring, unsatisfying, quote-unquote competitive fighting game. And that's going to be the end of Absolver. I'm sorry, that's how it is. I'm already bored with it, and I don't want to really pick it back up unless something special comes up. I'm sure they have some more things in the works, but something better may come along and take your attention off this game, and I don't really want to have it be one of those games that everyone forgot because they were just waiting for it to get better, and it happened too little too late. Well, that's it for my little rant. I just wanted to start a discussion about what Absolver can do to keep the attention of its audience. What would you like to see implemented? What would make you come back consistently? The only thing it comes down for me is that it's not competitive enough. But there's still time. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, stay awesome, hungry ones.